section 2.2, let's work on the circle. That's important with the circle because again, you're gonna keep using it, especially when you start taking pre-calc. The general equations, no, not the general equations, the standard form for the circle is what? The standard form, because we have two forms, is x minus h squared plus y minus k squared equal r. You have r or r squared, so it should be r squared. Is that what you have? R squared, okay. So this is the general form, or the standard form of the circle. Now let's check here. X and y is going to be the given point. Give you point with xy. So xy is going to be here. Now h and k, the center. The center of the circle always going to be h and k. It's going to be helpful when you graph the circle. So this is the center of the circle. What about r? Saying r should be greater than 0. What says on the r? Radius. The radius of the circle is going to be r, and always going to be what? Always, because there is radius negative. No. Radius is the distance between any point, the distance. I'm saying the distance between the center and any point on the circle. So of course it's going to be positive. So simple example here. So here is a circle. Okay. Here's a circle. Here's the center, which is h and k. Here is a point with x, y. This is a point with x, y. With the x here and the y here. This is the center. The distance. Let's say that again, because the distance. Okay. Saying that again for a purpose. The distance between the center and any point is what? Is the radius. So when you have the radius, figure out the circle is going to be this. And be careful, it's not the squared. You have to square the radius. The number here, let's say 9. So the radius is going to be what? 3. If it's 9, square it is going to be what? Okay? Let's see the first example. What they're asking you. Find the standard form. Graph the circle with center. So they give you the center as what?
0.
Oh, I have -3 and 2.
Oh, okay. We're doing the example.
Oh yeah. Is that solved? You have this example solved?
No, just the center and radius.
Okay, so they give you the center and the radius. Okay, which is -3 and 2, and the radius equal what? 4. And they ask you just graph it. Now that's a good example of how to graph the circle. Now the center is, this is h and k. I know that. Let's do a simple graph. The center here is going to be? No, wait, look here. Is that the center? No, the center is -3 and 2. -3, 1, 2, 3. And 2 up. So this is the center of the circle. Okay? Now, how much the radius?
4.
So from here, we have to count 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay? Okay? And from here, I'm gonna count 4 to the left. 1, 2, 3, 4. And from here, 1, 2, 3, 4. And from here, you're gonna go down how many? 1, 2, 3, 4. So this is the center. This one. Yeah, because it's not accurate. Not accurate. And that's how you're gonna graph it. From the center, count 4 direction to get circle. Is that okay? Maybe not well. Now, what about the next example? Ask you to find. Write an equation of the circle in the standard form. So keep in your mind, and again, we have 2 forms. We have the standard form and we have general form. We're going to study the general form later. Not that much hard. The standard form, so the first thing I'm going to say, here is the form, x minus h squared plus y minus k squared equal r squared. Is that okay? Now they give you the center is what?
0, -1.
So center 0, -3, and the radius equal 2. So this is h, and this is k. I'm just going to plug in everything here. That means the standard form is going to be for the circle is x minus 0 squared plus y, be careful, minus k is -3 squared. Is that okay? Because there is minus with the formula. And k by itself is -3. Be careful from this point. It's going to be equal to squared. Simplify it, x minus 0 is x. That means it's going to be x squared plus, keep this one, y plus 3 squared equal 4. That's it. This is the equations of the circle with the center 0, -3 and radius equal. Can we do the same thing with the next example? They give you the center equal 4 and 3, and the radius equal. Using just the standard form, which is the same form here. This is h and this is k. So I'm gonna plug in this form. So it's going to be x minus 4 squared. That's what? Y minus 3 x squared equal b squared. So it will be x minus 4 squared plus y minus 3 squared equal 9. That's it. Okay. So the next example, the center is what? 3, -2. I'm gonna write down center equal 3, -2. Focus on this one. So what do you think? What is going to be the circle? 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2. Center is going to be here. And the circle is tangent to the y axis. the circle tangent is mean touching the graph and y equal the negative y. So where is the y coordinate?
0.
This one, right? So check here. The circle from here, the center, tangent is mean touch the y, the circle is touching the y coordinate. So the circle 100% is touching the y coordinate at this point. And when you graph the circle here, the circle touch the graph. Make it simpler here. And for this example, here on this side. So this is the touching point. This circle touching x. Let's say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. This circle touching the x coordinate at the point 7. Okay? Touch the graph. It's called tangent. You're gonna say that in calculus 1, the tangent line problem. I'm gonna go deeper on this one. But this, they're telling you the circle, when you graph it, it's tangent to this one. So that means put line under tangent the y-axis. Tangent the y-axis. This is the radius. So how much the radius here? 3. So now, from this information, we know that the radius equal 3. That means 3 from here. 1, 2, 3 here. 3 here. 1, 2, 3 here. So here is the circle. That's a circle here. It should be like this. It's okay? So now, we need to find what? The equations. Now we have radius, we have center. So it will be x minus h squared plus y minus k squared equal squared. X minus h is a squared plus y minus k is, be careful here, simplify it, x minus 3 squared, y plus 2 . So the general form says what? General form for the equations for the circle is x squared plus y squared plus what? Ax plus by equal plus c equals 0. So here's the important part. It should be capital B. Let's see, equals 0. You say, okay, how am I going to figure out? They give you an example. They ask you to find the general form. Don't think about using this one. I've never used this formula, even I forgot it how it looked like. I'm just foiling this one. Foil this one, foil this one, that's it, gone. Put the squared first, then the term with x's, then the number by itself, gone. This is going to be the general form. Like the example we have what? We have x squared plus 8, right?
Just x.
Just x. X plus 8 plus y minus 1 squared 25.
We foil it.
Just FOIL it. FOIL each term. I'm going to FOIL this one. I always write it down as this. plus, I'm gonna FOIL this one. Equal 25. X times x, x squared plus 8x plus 8x plus 64. Is that okay? What is the next one? Y squared minus y minus y plus 1 equals 25. Combine the like terms. X squared 16x plus 64. Here plus y squared minus 2y plus 1 equals 25. Is that okay so far? Now, what do we have to do? Combine the like terms. 64 plus 1, so x squared plus 16x plus y squared minus 2y plus 65 equal 25. Next, what I have to do? The general form should be equal what? 0. So I just have to move the 25 to the other side. So minus 25 from both sides. X squared 16x plus y squared plus 2y 65 minus 25 0 and 0. Is that okay? And tell me, can you write down the general form? You write down the general form? Just put the x with the y together. That's it. It's x, y, x squared, y squared, x, y, the number by itself. So already everything here. So the x squared plus y squared plus 16x minus 2y plus 40. Is that the general form? Is that okay?
Yes.
Just I got confused with the negative 2y and the y squared.
Confused between this one. This is a term by itself. This is a term by itself. So when I move the y here, it doesn't have relation with the negative 2y. So the negative 2y is still by itself. I just need to write down.
General.
This is right. But I need to match this one what they give me the general form. So x squared, y squared, ax, which is 16x, by is negative 2y, and c is going to be the 4. So you just have to FOIL the parentheses, combine the like terms, which is the numbers, and the x is here. Move, if you don't have 0 here, move it to the other side, combine with the numbers. So if you give me this one, it's still the general form. But I need to match this one with the form they give it to me. This one. Okay. Now the question. So again, like we have general form. We started from the standard form here. FOIL it, FOIL each part, and we reach what? The general form. Standard form, we reach the general form. Now we're trying to do the opposite thing. We have the general form, and we're trying to find the standard form.
You have to get all the y's on one side.
Oh, that's also a good point. Before we go on to the new question, we start from this one, from the standard form, and the end is the general form, right?
Yes.
So be careful here. The main point you have to keep in your mind, the y by itself is the parentheses by itself, okay? And the x is the parentheses by itself. And then you FOIL it, you shift it, the terms, it doesn't matter because it's still like polynomial or quadratic, so you can switch the terms to write down the general form. But check here what happened. When you FOIL it here. What's this? Quadratic formula, okay. Not quadratic formula, quadratic equations, but this one is quadratic, right? Not this one. The same thing, right? And what we did, we combined 64 with 1 to get what? 65. So with the new equations, we're missing these two because we're gonna combine it. And we're gonna move this one here, so we're gonna mess up everything. Now, to write down the general form. So these two terms here is going to be missing with the new one, okay? So that's what we need to find. Is that okay? We need to find this one. When we put it here, we're gonna go back where? Here. Not that much hard. When we find the missing term here, we're gonna jump here. Come, it's gonna solve. How are we gonna find it?
Problem 5, right?
Let's go back here. So the first thing, remember what I told you? The x is by itself and the y by itself. That means I'm gonna shift the y here and the x here. I'm gonna write down x squared minus 4x, okay, plus y squared minus 21, and I'm gonna throw this number to the other side. Is that okay so far? Now let's focus on the first one, because I'm missing a number here, and I'm missing a number here. No one figure out? I'm telling you, I'm missing a number here. Missing number here. There's a method to find these numbers. It's a quadratic, right? We're missing a number here, and we're missing a number here. Here, the method is called completing the square. What this method? That's what we need to find. Complete this square. Complete this square. You see, we'll go back completing by the square. Completing the square would depend about the number with the p, which is what? So we're going to take this number, divide it always by 2, and write down the rule. Because remember the general form of the quadratic equations? What's the general form of quadratic equations? Remember that? ax plus bx plus c equals 0. So we're focusing about this number, the b with the x. Okay? It's b over 2, and you have to square it. So with the first one, what's the b with the first one? -4 divided by 2 is equal what? -2 squared is equal what? 4. So I'm gonna add 4 here. Is that okay? And we need to find the other missing term, which is
20 divided by 2.
-20. Divide by 2 squared, which is equal -10 squared, which is equal. So the missing term here is what? Is that okay so far? Now the question. What's this sign? What's this sign? What's that mean? It means you have two equal sides. You have what? You have two equal sides. These are equal to each other. This side is equal to negative 68. So if I add 4 here, I have to do the same thing here. It's equal. Is that okay? So if I add, I'm gonna add the 4 here. So what I have to do, also add the 4 here. Let's write it down again. So this one, x squared minus 4x, I'm going to add the 4. Is that okay? So negative 68, I'm gonna add the 4 on this side too. Let's keep going here. Plus y squared minus 20y. I'm gonna add what here? 100. So I have to add 100 here. Is that okay? This one separate from this one. So don't overthink about how I'm gonna write down. If you want to factor it, it's fine. If you want to factor it, you're gonna open 2 parentheses and x minus 2, x minus 2, and gone. But what's the number you got here? So I'm gonna say this is x minus 2 squared. The first term of the standard form. Is that okay? If you factor it by opening 2 parentheses, it's going to be the same thing. It's going to be x minus 2, x minus 2. Combine these together, it's going to be what? X minus 2 squared. You want to do this? So it's easier, like, just go ahead and factor it. You open 2 parentheses. And say here's x, here's x. Here's what? 4, which is 1, 4, and 2 times 2. You put 2 here and 2 here, minus, minus. Okay? And this one is the same thing, is going to be x minus 2 squared. Is that cool? You can do the other thing with the other side. Plus, the same thing here. Open 2 parentheses, y here, 100, it's 10 with the 10. Sine minus minus. Is that the same number here? Negative 10. So I'm going to say plus y minus 10 squared. Equal what? How much going to be the result from here? Is that the standard form? So completing the square is the key to find, convert it from general form to what? Standard form. Is that okay? Easier now? So chocolate cake. Do we do the same thing? The first thing, I'm gonna put the x with the x squared and the y squared with the y. I'll move the 21 to the other side. It'll be x squared plus 10x, the missing term, plus y squared plus 4y, the missing term, equal what? 21. Is that cool? Now, what's the missing term?
45.
Okay, so the first one going to be 10 divided by 2 squared equal what? 5 squared, which is equal to 25. So this number is going to be in the parentheses. I'm just going to add 25 here. Okay, 25. Again here, you can say 4 divided by 2 squared, which is equal to 2 squared, which is equal. Add what? Here. And don't forget, you have to add both to the other side. 25 plus 4. Okay. Now here, can you tell me the parentheses? X minus what? Plus 5. Why? Both positive. So plus 5. And again, I told you, don't confuse yourself. If this number here before you write down the result, but if you can't do that, like factor this piece. X 25, which is 5 times 5. Both should be positive. Same thing here, factor this piece. Parentheses, x 4, which is 2 times 2, and both should be positive, so we can get the sign. How much is going to be here? 4 plus 4. Is that okay? Now this one is going to be x plus 5 squared plus y plus 2 squared equal. That's it. Okay.